With rumors of Vince McMahon buying back WWE addressed and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Asked if the hate towards Hulk Hogan is justified, AEW star Rachel Ellering told Monty and the Pharaoh, "I think some cases are so warranted, yeah, and I think that's something that has been a good progression in the last couple of years in wrestling, trying to get some of these really scummy people out of wrestling or at least limit what they're doing, because there are so many really good people in wrestling. Give them the time, give them the money, give them the focus, right? Like, these people, I call them buttheads. I'm like, we don't need these buttheads. There are plenty of extremely talented, genuinely good people who are deserving of these spots and time and bookings and fanfare. Get the bad ones out of here, because some of them genuinely deserve to be written off. They're terrible human beings that in any line of work would be written off, and so I think for some people it's totally justified. I think Hulk Hogan should be written out of wrestling, yeah." Taking to Instagram, former WWE star NEWELL would call out the promotion.
"Oh hey there, it's me, your favorite injury-prone wrestler." Or at least that's what you guys say, right? I mean, I see the comments that you say online, so if we're gonna say stuff, let's start to get creative with it, because at this point, the jokes run dry. It's old. But newsflash, some of your favorites have been hurt way more than I have. I wrestled an entire match with a broken leg and a busted knee, and others can't even wrestle with a broken nail. So sad. But look, wrestling has been my life for 14 years, 8 of them in the big leagues, where I was busting my ass day after day, jumped through hoop after hoop just for another one to be put in front of me. I was playing a game that I couldn't win. Look, you're empowered to speak up, but when you do, you're considered unprofessional and difficult. So tell me how that's fair. I sat for hours and hours in catering, stood outside doors day after day just to be told it's not the right time. But I'm done waiting. I'm telling that now is the right time. So consider this me knocking. Give me an opportunity.
Providing a legal update on one half of FTR, Ringside News wrote that AEW Tag Team star Cash Wheeler is officially in the clear following a legal battle that stretched over a year and a half. According to PW Insider, Wheeler's 2023 arrest record has been completely expunged as of May 5th, 2025, bringing long-awaited closure to a case that never sat right with those close to him. Wheeler, one half of FTR, was arrested in August 2023 and charged with one count of aggravated assault with a firearm in Orlando, Florida. The arrest stemmed from an alleged road rage incident in which a man claimed that Wheeler had flashed a handgun during a heated traffic confrontation. At the time, Wheeler voluntarily turned himself in and was released on a $2,500 bond, later entering a written plea of not guilty. Now, nearly 2 years later, the Florida court system has wiped his legal slate clean. The expungement means the arrest no longer exists on public record, effectively erasing any trace of the case from his background. It was reported that many within AEW sympathized with Wheeler throughout the ordeal. According to the outlet, there was a lot of sympathy within AEW among talents throughout the entire process for Wheeler. One source added that a lot of his time and money was wasted defending something no one in the company believed he actually did. For fans and colleagues alike, the expungement marks the end of a stressful chapter that cast an unnecessary cloud over Wheeler's otherwise respected reputation in pro wrestling. With the legal baggage behind him, he can now refocus entirely on AEW and FTR's in-ring future. Speaking about WWE counter-programming AEW events, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, this idea that WWE is going to run AEW out by scheduling shows next to them, it's just not realistic. It worked in 1988, it's not going to work now. WWE's playbook is outdated. You can't run AEW out like they did Crockett. AEW is funded. AEW has a base. They are not relying on pay-per-view to stay alive. That's the big difference. They're doing it because they can, and maybe they think it's going to throw AEW off or dilute their coverage. But AEW fans aren't just going to suddenly stop watching because there's a WWE show earlier in the day. If I were AEW, I'd ignore WWE and focus on putting out the best product. That's the only thing that's going to matter in the end. But if they wanted to selectively fight back, sure, they could. You could go long on a pay-per-view, push the main event back 15 minutes. If WWE is doing a post-show presser or something, you could even go head-to-head with a kickoff, but you've got to pick your spots. Garrett Gonzalez added, "The tone from Tony Khan lately has been more about not engaging, at least publicly." Meltzer said, "Yeah, and that's probably smart. You don't want to make it a war if you're not built for a war, but at the same time, you don't want to look like you're backing down every time they do this. If WWE books a show the same day as you don't need to move or apologize. You just need to make sure your show is great. That's the real answer." During an interview with TMZ, Shane McMahon was asked about rumors of his father, Vince McMahon, buying WWE back, to which he said, "Well, you own a big part of TKO still, so you never know what's going to happen there either. So I'm not trying to be vague, I'm just saying anything can happen, of course." Previously, Jonathan Coachman said this regarding Vince buying WWE back: "Do I know 100% he's going to buy WWE? I know that he wants to." Vince Russo added, "What if he made the deal with Ari Emanuel and TKO and they were the placeholder? In 3 years, when this is all behind me, this is the price I pay you to get my baby back." Shane McMahon also said this to TMZ regarding his father starting a new wrestling promotion: "You never know what's going to happen out there. Of course, anything can happen in WWE, but those rumors are false. Those rumors are false." Shane also said this about how his father has been doing. He's been doing really well. He's enjoying, he's enjoying life, getting a little bit of a rest in there. But, if you know my dad, he's always gung-ho and he's always doing the next thing. And that's what he's focused on." Talking about possibly joining AEW, Shane said, "Had a meeting with AEW and wished them, continued success or whatever. But it's not WWE. It's not the company I helped build. But you never know what's going to happen in this business." Previously, it was reported that WWE did not want talent wearing R-Truth merchandise following his departure from the company, with WrestleVotes noting, "Yeah, so we've seen it in the past where guys get hurt. People move on. You see one of their shirts snuck in. That happened last night with Carlito. Dominic Mysterio had a Carlito shirt on TV, but they didn't want any R-Truth shirts being worn by talent on Monday Night Raw." Hugo Savinovich mentioned this, telling Lucha Libre Online, "Why not give R-Truth a proper send-off? Why no tribute? Why pretend he never existed? It's as if R-Truth never mattered. And that sends a bad message. Truth wasn't allowed to be honored publicly, but Carlito was. That deepens the anxiety backstage. It's now a hostile work environment. People are afraid to speak, to even have casual conversations, because they don't know if TKO or WWE is monitoring everything. The way it was told to us is that no talent was allowed to appear on that episode of Raw wearing anything in tribute to R-Truth. However, and listen closely, Judgment Day was allowed to do it. Liv Morgan had Carlito's name on her boot. Dominic wore a shirt referencing Carlito. So the question is, why was Judgment Day allowed to pay tribute to Carlito, but no one was allowed to do anything for R-Truth? This situation is getting really heated because people see that inconsistency and it doesn't sit well, especially when both of these men were beloved, respected, and still active. It's like they just erased R-Truth from existence while allowing others to honor Carlito, and people notice. The locker room notices. The fans notice.